Hey sports fans, remember when we told you the NFL was pretty much a soap opera wrapped up in cleats, pads, and helmets? After reporting on Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans' nuclear fallout a few months back, that may have left the bedrock of the Texas Foundation radioactive for years to come, a la Chernobyl. Today we have the latest chapter in the ongoing saga between disgruntled star quarterbacks and the NFL front offices. Enter Aaron Rodgers versus the Green Bay Packers and the powers that be. The situation between Rodgers and Green Bay has gone from zero to ugly faster than a Tyreek Hill go-route and doesn't look to be getting any better anytime soon. As rumors swirl about Aaron Rodgers' potential trade destinations and just what caused the Grand Canyon-sized rift between the two parties, we fans are left with tons of questions. Can both sides close the gap between them and mend the rift that's caused this drama? Will both sides be headed to a bitter divorce like the ghost of Green Bay Hall of Famer quarterbacks past, a la Brett Favre? Will Aaron Rodgers leave it all behind and walk off into retirement and onto a Jeopardy set? Well, today we're going to take a look at some potential suitors and explore the answers to some of these questions. But first, as always, if you're not already subscribed, do me a favor and click that button so you can stay up to date on the latest and greatest from this channel. All right, all done? Get your popcorn ready, sports fans. On to the show. One could say that Aaron Rodgers has been followed by controversy since the moment he became a Packer. Well, even the hours leading up to it while waiting in the green room in that infamous draft slide in 2005 that finally saw him end up as a Green Bay Packer. Selected as the heir apparent to the first ballot Hall of Famer and the face of the franchise Brett Favre, Rodgers entered as the future to the incumbent QB, and the writing was on the wall from the moment Rodgers was selected that GM Ted Thompson wasn't exactly going to be on Brett Favre's Christmas list again anytime soon. As we all know, the drafting of Favre's replacement, while Favre still felt he had plenty of tread on his tires, was met with the scorn of 1,000 angry spouses as he said he would never mentor Rodgers and had almost nothing positive to say about the organization from that point on. In 2020, history had an interesting way of repeating itself as the Packers selected their heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers after trading up to select his replacement, Jordan Love, just months after Rodgers had led the team to one game within the Super Bowl. See, we told you there was drama, and we can't make this stuff up. The selection of Jordan Love was met with head scratches across the NFL world from fans to front offices, with everyone, including Rodgers, hoping they would bring in a stud wide receiver to pair with superstar Davante Adams and help the team get over the NFC Championship hump and back to hoisting Lombardies. Instead, Love was added, and all the love Aaron Rodgers had for the team was lost, all the makings of a romantic comedy, but without the comedy unless you're rooting for another NFC North team, of course. But let's not digress. While Rodgers may have been saying all the right things after his replacement's drafting, like, "I'm excited to work with him, he seems like a good kid," the then two-time league MVP also admitted that his general reaction was like many people, was surprised, and that he wasn't thrilled by the pick but didn't blame Jordan Love because it wasn't his fault. Whose fault was it then, Aaron? The front offices, maybe? Well, shortly after the remarks, the rumor mill began flying with speculation that Aaron was disgruntled and may be looking for an exit sooner than later. Fast forward to the 2020 season with Aaron Rodgers again leading the Packers to the NFC Championship game and coming within a drive of reaching the Super Bowl. You'd think the Packers would have done it, sorely needing a number 2 receiver to back-to-back NFC Championship games. Still, Rodgers may have kept his frustrations away from the media the best he could, but after Paul Allen of KFAN broke the scandalizing story on draft day that the Niners made a trade offer to the Packers that may have involved the 3rd pick of the draft, ESPN super insider Adam Schefter dropped an atomic bomb of his own, alleging that there was a feud between the star quarterback and the organization. As you can imagine, this didn't exactly go over well with the private Rodgers, and one of the final straws in a situation that had grown about as toxic as any relationship could get. Behind the scenes, Rodgers also alleged that he'd been telling potential free agents that he was going to be leaving Green Bay this upcoming season. Ouch. When things get to this level of toxicity, like any other bad relationships, it may be time to start looking for the exits. With many teams monitoring the Aaron Rodgers situation from afar, or, well, if you're the Denver Broncos and San Francisco 49ers, allegedly a little too closely, as there's speculation flying around that the two teams had contact with Rodgers and his camp and may have tampered with the future Hall of Famer amidst this whole saga, the way a potential suitor may slide into your girlfriend or boyfriend's DMs just to see, well, if they had a shot. In this case, both organizations in the 49ers and the Denver Broncos are very attractive destinations, and the situation's gone way beyond flirting. The former being more attractive prior to selecting Trey Lance with the 3rd pick, of course, but it leads us to wonder if a move is imminent. If you've been following the breadcrumbs during the entire Rodgers saga, the answer may have been right before your eyes on draft day, and it's the Denver Broncos who look to have a leg up on the competition and the frontrunner for Rodgers' new home. If, or as many are already saying when, Rodgers leaves, if you've been following everyone from analysts to Vegas oddmakers to former and current teammates, it looks like John Elway may have finally found his new quarterback since the departure of two-time Super Bowl winner Peyton Manning and now, almost assuredly soon-to-be former Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Many feel the Broncos not selecting a quarterback in the first round and passing on Justin Fields and Mac Jones tipped their cap to their intentions, as the team was certainly in the market for upgrading their quarterback, with the shoddy and unproven Drew Lock and safe, now NFL journeyman Teddy Bridgewater being the only real candidates to be under the center. A move to Denver would make the Broncos immediate Super Bowl contenders, with the offense loaded with weapons in Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, Melvin Gordon, rookie running back out of North Carolina, Javonte Williams, not to mention a better offensive line, even with the loss of Juwan James, who tore his Achilles this offseason, that could keep Rodgers upright in the latter stages of his career. On the defensive side of the ball, the Broncos have returning defensive stalwart Von Miller itching to prove that he's still one of the elite speed rushers in the game, paired up with Bradley Chubb, who is already one of the best players at his position. Add in free agent acquisition Kyle Fuller and their first-round pick of arguably the best cornerback in the 2021 draft, Patrick Surtain, and you have a unit that can get just about any offense off the field and matches up greatly with division winners Kansas City Chiefs. The most attractive item to Rodgers is an intangible one, and that is that Elway and company will value Rodgers' input, which was the death knell for him in Green Bay, and have no problem including a quarterback in decisions like choosing free agents and any other input Rodgers may have, similar to how the Broncos did with Peyton Manning's years prior. With all that being said, the question remains, what would it take to get Aaron Rodgers? At 37 years old and still playing at the level we're used to seeing by some people's take, playing the best football of his life, the reigning MVP wouldn't come cheap. We saw the haul it took for the Rams to acquire Matthew Stafford, who was seemingly being held hostage by the Detroit Lions with their free agency and draft moves during his tenure there. You could almost feel reporters wanting to ask Stafford to blink twice if he was okay. Anyhow, 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick later, Stafford was free and the Rams got their guy. There's reason to believe this would be a floor for a Rodgers trade, and whether the Denver Broncos or their AFC West rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders, who many have as the second most likely team to acquire the QB services, including the Vegas oddmakers, it appears that a team would have to forego at least selecting in the first round for the next 2 seasons to do so, which may not be the worst idea given that both teams are hoping to bring their respective franchises back to prominence and have not exactly been able to do so during the draft with some of their early selections anyway. Drew Lock, Cleveland Farrell, Paxton Lynch, Jonathan Abrams, Brock Osweiler, Garyon Conley, Damon Arnett. With Rodgers in town, it takes the guesswork out and puts the onus on his play, which is still spectacular, and the move to either franchise would instantly make them serious contenders and make the AFC West one of the toughest divisions in the league. So when would this happen? Well, after June 1st, the team is able to part with the player and be able to spread their salary over 2 years as long as it's post-1st June cut, as opposed to a pre-June 1st cut where any prorated bonus money immediately counts against the cap for that season and that season alone. For that reason alone, moving Rodgers after June 1st, with many speculating he will be dealt after this deadline, is more of a cap-friendly move for Rodgers, as opposed to just giving him his wishes now and absorbing whatever cap hit is coming their way without feeling it like a vintage Mike Tyson uppercut to the team's spending ability. So while the Packers brass may be saying all the right things, like we want to keep Rodgers here and we believe Rodgers will be a Packer, it's safe to say that there's already a trade in the works that will send Rodgers to greener pastures and away from his formerly beloved Green Bay Packers, and it will more likely than not make him a member of the Mile High Club of walking Hall of Famers, joining Peyton Manning as a Super Bowl winner vying for his second Super Bowl ring in Denver. Another potential outcome is that Rodgers leaves it all behind and walks away from the game with his first ballot Hall of Famer credentials well intact and transitions into the retirement seamlessly to the many opportunities afforded to him, with the favorite being Alex Trebek's replacement as Jeopardy host, which Rodgers admittedly loves and what he calls as a dream job come true. A nightmare for us football fans who want to see him go and get his second Lombardi trophy, but whatever Aaron decides, we can't be too mad at him, as it looks like Green Bay has forced his hand, and had they handed him the reins to the team like many other store quarterbacks had been allowed, perhaps we wouldn't be having this conversation in the first place. Alright, sports fans, that's it for our time on Aaron Rodgers and his potential, albeit more likely than not, a trade to the Denver Broncos, and the drama appears to be unmendable with his former love, the Green Bay Packers. Let us know what you think about the Rodgers situation by dropping us a comment, and as always, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do me a favor and click that subscribe button. Until next time, sports fans.